what Rand and Lamar get to in the piece is they say, for example, it is Congress's constitutional responsibility to ask questions when the National Science Foundation decides to spend public funds on a climate change-themed musical. That's what qualifies. That's something that qualifies as science. $700,000 for that.
Wait, what? Climate change themed what now?
Musical. A climate change-themed musical. Ostensibly for
dollars.
Yes, ostensibly to go to schools and do performances in auditoriums, you know, that sort of thing.
Well, there's a song from Oklahoma called "It's Gonna Be Another Hot Day."
That's it.
I don't think that's one of the songs that they used. Or an investigation of Tea Party activity on social media, $919,000.
What?
$919,000.
Somebody's been reading my posts for $1 million.
Yes.
That poor bastard.
Or to study bicycle designs. Anyway, he goes through all this long list of stuff that is put under the head of science, of the National Science Foundation, but really these are scientific studies that we're deeming appropriate to send our taxpayer dollars to. And sure, this is, you know, less than 1% of the budget that we spend each year. But that doesn't mean that $9 million or that $1 million is just, you know, pocket change that we can spend willy-nilly on stupid things. We do have kind of a large amount of debt.
Well, and if you can't cut the small waste, how are you ever going to cut the large waste? I mean,
exactly.
You have to. But this is sort of the left saying cutting funding for NASA is because you hate science is the same as our side saying cutting funding for the military is because you hate the soldiers. Every department of the federal government can handle a budget cut.
I agree, and I think that it's duplicitous to say that you know that we can't cut some military spending. But I'm also, you know, more libertarian-ish on spending maybe than some. But what I want to bring to everybody's attention is not just this piece, which is a great one, and I think makes the case very well. I think that Rand and Lamar do a great job of saying, you know, hey, we do think that there's a place for us to be spending money, and lots of money, on promoting science and on investigating things. There's a response, a rebuttal from Bob Seay, I think is his name, Seay, on Huffington Post again, and the title of this one is even better. It's even better than the War on Science. Turning science into the new welfare queen. That is his response to the Rand Paul, Lamar Smith.
We hate science people because they're like poor welfare queens, and they're taking government money. So he's saying that we don't want to give government money to scientists, same as we don't want to give government money to poor people because we hate them all. Or something. In
an article in Politico, Rand Paul attempts to create, and he doesn't mention Lamar Smith, he just says Rand Paul. I wonder why he's just singling out Rand Paul there. Attempts to create a mythology that he hopes will convince Americans to hate science. Paul knows that if he can get voters to resent scientific research as much as they resent minorities and poor people, then he and his fellow Republicans will be free to ignore inconvenient facts about climate change, population trends, and other data that goes against the Republican agenda. That's just a small sample of this. It gets even worse. There's so much in this that's absolutely bunk. And here's another thing. This was one of the more disturbing parts of this. On the concept that we talked about it, $1 million to investigate Tea Party internet usage. The thing about science is that you never know where these discoveries will lead. Research on the Tea Party's use of the internet, to use one of Rand Paul's examples of wasteful spending, could lead to a better understanding of how all groups use social media, including groups that might not be friendly to the United States or to American citizens.
Look, bottom line, they're talking about using the money on one side, not the other. It's biased, so I don't care. But when they say we're anti-scientific, the answer is very simple. Well, then you have nothing to fear. If we're anti-scientific, then you have no reason to claim consensus to silence us. Let's open up the discussion. Thank you. So from now on, you just have proclaimed that you no longer have to use the word consensus for your side, because you only have to use that to silence dissent. And if you think that we are so unscientific and so helpless in that realm, then you have no reason to not hear us out. Oh, by the way, just so you know, when you do hear us out, we're going to cream you because we're far more scientific than you. And every single prediction you've made for the last 20, 30 years has not even remotely come true. And that's kind of a problem for science.
You know what I find funny is this rigid and religious commitment to what science says, that they try to push through this, and at the same time the economic theories on the left are so incredible and suspend so much reality. Could we call them economic deniers?
I think
we
so.
should.
I like that.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
I love that.
Economic deniers. I like that.
Obama is giving these guys access. He's giving them a way to participate in the political process. And what are we doing? We're writing snide articles about how unprofessional it is for Obama to be degrading the office of the presidency because he's talking to average Americans.